Are you considering moving to Guelph or maybe even buying an investment property? My name is Andrew Meyer with eXp Realty and the Milltown Property Group, and I want to share with you an interview that I had with an associate of mine, Ravi Sinanan, about the pros and cons of moving to Guelph and what you should expect when buying a property in the area. Let's check it out.
Have you been considering a move to Guelph, Ontario? Today, I have here Andrew Meyer with the Milltown Property Group. We're going to be going through some of the reasons why you should consider moving to Guelph. My name is Ravi Sinanan, and let's get this interview started. Andrew, question number one. If someone is looking to move from a larger urban center and downsizing, what do the prices look like?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, it depends on what it is that they're looking to move into. And we've had a crazy fall going into the winter the last little bit. It's just been a crazy peak. But right now, the average price in Guelph, and this is if we're just lumping everything together, you're looking somewhere around low 800s to mid 800s. So let's say 820 to 840. But that's looking at everything all together. Now, if you're just looking for a condo, like let's say you're coming from GTA condo to condo, you could average price for a condo in Guelph right now is sitting around low 500s, whereas a townhouse or a semi, you're looking at low 700s. And then if you're actually looking for a detached home, the average price right now is sitting around 930, 920, 930. But obviously averages, that doesn't necessarily tell you the size or the type and things like that. But that's roughly the point that we're looking at in Guelph.
Sounds good. Now, in terms of like if someone's looking to upsize, like what are some things that you would recommend?
Yeah, well, I mean, so obviously you're going to get more bang for your buck in Guelph. So let's say, for example, somebody's moving from, with COVID, there's a lot of people moving from GTA to they're either moving west or north. So if somebody's considering Guelph, if let's say you're living in a town in Toronto and you're able to sell that town for 1.8 million. Obviously, you're able to take that 1.8 million, and if you're putting that into a detached property in Guelph, you can get quite the amount of home for 1.8 million. You can get, a fenced-in yard, 2-story, 4-bedroom, lots of bathrooms, upgrades, things like that. There's quite a bit that you can stretch that budget to grab.
That sounds great. Now, in terms of like Guelph as a city, because I always hear the question, what is there to do in Guelph? Like I'm leaving the GTA, I'm leaving the Toronto, which is such a great urban center where there's restaurants. I just walk downstairs, there's a ton of restaurants, ton of businesses to visit. What does that look like in Guelph?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing about Guelph, any Guelphite will tell you the downtown is kind of where you start. So the nice thing with downtown is that's almost where the majority of the restaurants are in the city. So if you're looking to go out on a date night, looking to go out for dinner, downtown's where you're going. Also, depending on your age, if you're into the night scene, that's also in the downtown area. So, I mean, downtown on a Friday evening, I would say downtown's a great spot to be anywhere between 4 p.m. on a Friday to 2 a.m. depending on your scene and what it is that you enjoy. And that's just the downtown. Well, it's got a lot of other really cool things as well. It's called the Mustang Drive-In, which was pretty neat. So, during COVID, you could still go and watch a movie when no one else could, because we had a drive-in.
Cool.
Which is, it's really fun there.
Yeah.
Then we have some other things too, like if somebody's looking to go out and enjoy some of the things or some of the events that get put on by a lot of the different charities and clubs and associations around town. For example, right now we have Sparkles in the Park. It's we're December 1st today, so Sparkles in the Park is just all the lights through Riverside Park are put up there, and you can go through and go for a walk through there, and it's a nice little date night. Get a hot cup of chocolate or apple cider and walk through there. In the summer we've got Guelph Lake, which is great for hiking, bike riding, and also has a little bit of beach there as well if you wanted to escape locally. We're really, we're a stone throw away from Elora. We've got the Elora Gorge and all the hiking and biking that can be done there. I would say Guelph's a very active community with lots of trails. We've got a trail connecting, Push Lynch. It goes in from Push Lynch into Guelph and then all the way out to Guelph Lake. There's another trail you can hop onto to take you all the way out to Elora. And then I think the other neat thing is we're also really cool to the Push Lynch Lake. And there's kind of one of my favorite spots. You and I have been there for lunch once before. The old
That's
marina.
right. Yeah, really cool spot.
It's really cool because you can just 10 minutes away. You can go have lunch and sit out on a lake on a patio and such a beautiful scenery, and it's really close to be still in a nice urban setting, but you be able to feel like you get to escape to the cottage just for lunch.
No, I 100% agree with you, Andrew. And I mean, my partner, she actually lived in Guelph for a little bit, and now we live in Cambridge. But I always find myself visiting downtown Guelph. There's lots of great restaurants. We're there at least once or twice a month for date night, and even like hiking trails. Oh man, in the summer, I can't tell you, like we're always out in Guelph doing a lot of stuff. And for me personally, not living in Guelph, like every time I go there, it feels like a really, really tight knit community. So if you are looking to be a part of that community, it definitely you can get that feel in Guelph, 100%. I know you grew up in Guelph. Like, what are your thoughts on how the city's progressed?
Progressed? Okay, so I mean, I love Guelph. I'm going to talk about one of the downsides about Guelph right now, so I'll get into that. So,
Sure.
we progressed great in that we've really expanded outwards, but Guelph's been a little bit slower with its streets and highway infrastructure. So it takes a little bit longer to get around or through town. So if I'm heading from one end of town to the other far end of town, it takes a little bit longer than it could compared to some other municipalities that have some more highways that run through them. So you have more access points to get across at a quicker rate. Now, don't get me wrong. There's definitely some infrastructure plans. The main expressway in Guelph is the Hanlon Expressway, and they're gradually adding more overpasses so that they can eventually make that a more seamless commute from one end to the other. And that's also going to kick. It's also going to expand north so that you can actually get further north as well. So it's in the works. Obviously, developments like that take time. That's one of the things that's lagging on right now, but there are plans to get it there definitely in the near future.
So just as a reference point, if I'm looking to buy downtown Guelph because I want to be near the nightlife and all that stuff, how long will it take me to get back out to the 401? And then roughly how long will it take me to get back to the GTA or even downtown Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, so a big thing, we can get into talking about commuting. So if somebody's looking to move to Guelph but they want to still commute, obviously that's a really important thing to consider. So first, if you're driving, if you buy downtown, so most people commuting are looking somewhere downtown South End. A lot of them are purchasing more in the South End, maybe even Aberfoyle area there. From downtown, you're probably looking at 20 minutes to get to the 401. From the South End, you could cut that down if there's no traffic to 10, because again, you have to go, through Aberfoyle to get to the 401. Now, if you're also going the other way, let's say you've got family or something like that, more west, like you're heading towards London or Windsor, you can also hop on the Hanlon, which is the quicker expressway in Guelph. Or if you're in the West End, you can get to the access point in Cambridge off of Highway 24 pretty quickly. That's probably, from where I live, I'm in the West End of Guelph. I could get there 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes in 15 minutes in traffic. Yeah, so I mean, there's two key access points that you can get to pretty quickly. I mean, the Hanlon takes you straight up to Guelph, sorry, straight up to the 401 as well. And that's pretty quick, but depending on where you're at, you may find yourself, going down either 6 North or 6 South. Either way, it'll take probably 10, 15 minutes, 20
Cool.
if you're downtown.
That's not bad at all. What about Pearson? I love to travel and I want to get to the airport. How far
Yeah,
is
so the nice
Pearson?
thing, yeah, of course. And of course, when I'm talking about, when we're talking about commuting, I often think downtown Toronto because I used to work downtown. So that's often what I
Gotcha.
think when I talk like downtown commute times to Toronto, because I was able to do that sometimes really quick in under an hour, late at night, super, super early in the morning before everyone else hits the road. But I can get to Pearson, without traffic. We're not considering rush hour times here within 45 minutes, which I think is a great time. And then from there, we've also built more infrastructure in terms of we've got the GO train that comes through Guelph now, and they've added more and more times. So it's easier to commute using a GO train if you're going, anywhere in the GTA that has a good access point to a GO train.
What about transit in Guelph? Like, is it pretty friendly that way, or will I need to have a car if I'm in Guelph?
Yeah, I mean, so if you live downtown, you could definitely get by without having a car. Like if you decide to buy a condo or live downtown, and you're commuting and taking the GO, you could probably get by without a car. I mean, it's still a little bit more spread out, so it would probably be easier to have a car. grocery shopping and things like that. Transit's still pretty good. I mean, you can definitely take transit anywhere. I grew up in Guelph. I took transit for a long period of time up until I was able to buy a car and do that. Now I'm a little bit spoiled, right? Where now I'm able to drive everywhere. So
Yeah.
I don't want to sit outside in the cold waiting for a bus or transit after I get groceries. Where I've done that before and it was never an issue. Students do it all the time. We've got tons of bus lines that service universities. So if you're, looking to, if you're considering going to University of Guelph, or you have like a son or daughter that's considering University of Guelph, do they need to have a car? No, not at all. They can definitely get around using transit. That's definitely worked into the system.
The one thing that I'm just gonna throw in a little plug there for the University of Guelph. I mean, every time I visited, some of my friends, they had like some of the best cafeteria food, I would say. Where I went to Rock, and I mean, it was good, it was okay, but man, Guelph, a lot of selection, really, really good food. It's amazing. Other than that, so it sounds like we have the Hanlon, we have the 401, we got transit, we got Go. And another thing I just want to touch on, I know it's pretty close to the 407 as well. So you would just take the 401 and then get down to around Milton, and then you can hop on the 407 and get around the city that way too, which is really, really neat.
Yep. For everyone commuting, you're pretty close to the 407, and then they're also doing the 401 expansion in this area from Milton to Cambridge. So that's also nice. They'll be widening the lanes, and it should get rid of any congestion. I mean, in this area, we tend to not get that much congestion. You tend to not hit that till Mississauga, which they've already started to expand. That's well underway. It's lots of progress there.
Perfect. So very quickly, just to end the video here, what are some key highlights of Guelph that I should be excited for if I'm relocating from Toronto or the GTA out this way?
Yeah. So I mean, besides getting, I'm going to say more for your money, and that you can get more house for your money, or if you're downsizing, you'll be able to swap like for like and then pocket the difference or something like that. It's really the community. So the community is excellent in that like the average income in Guelph is pretty good. We're sitting around $110,000 household income. The employment rate's super low. There's several articles, that have been out there about how great the employment is in Guelph. Like I think right now, even through COVID and everything that we've gone through, I think we're sitting around 5% unemployment, which is pretty good given where we're at. And also the jobs, like the job market's very diverse. Like we've got some good manufacturing jobs. I know Linamar employs a lot. We've got Cooperators has their head office here. They employ quite a few people as well. So anything from insurance, banking, tech, like we've got a really nice diverse portfolio of jobs that are out there. So, it's not like one of those things where in some towns, if one manufacturer pulls out, the whole city feels it. So we've got a nice rounded job market, which kind of prevents, like I'm going to call it like a micro recession happening within a city. It helps kind of avoid those scenarios. And then, we've got a great multicultural community here. So about 25% of people in Guelph can speak another language, which is great. Like that's a fairly high amount in Canada. I mean, I know we all learned French at some point. But I can tell you, I can't speak it to the point where I would be comfortable saying that I can speak a second language. Where 25% of people do in Guelph. And then we're really big on celebrating that. We've got a great multicultural festival, lots of other festivals where different cultures kind of pool together and meet. So it's a really great community. And I think that's probably the number one thing for a lot of people is being able to, not just get more for your money, but being able to settle in somewhere where you really enjoy your neighbors.
Just thought of a quick question here. In terms of investing in Guelph, how would that work? Like, let's say I'm an investor, I'm looking to purchase some property. Shoot me some tips.
Yeah, I mean, so Guelph's a great spot to invest. We've got the university, so if you're looking for student rentals, that's great. We also have a Conestoga campus here as well for college students. So you've got that. If you're a student renter, we've got that that does very, very well. Obviously with students, you can turn them over and always get market rate rent. If you're looking for more long-term tenants, like I said, we've got a great job market. So you don't have to worry as much about people not being able to pay their rent because of job loss, because it's more diverse. So if you have a young couple, young professional that comes in, the chance of both of them, losing their job and losing their income is much less because it's just a better job portfolio in the city. Yeah, so I think those are the two major things there. And also, if you're looking, to become an investor, they're the city is really looking to intensify. So there's the opportunity to start duplexing more properties, and we also just changed our bylaws that we now allow like detached dwellings. So let's say you had a bungalow, duplexed bungalow, and you wanted to add a third unit because you had the space in your yard or had a good access point. You can potentially add a third unit that's detached, whether it's in a form of like a mini home or a coach house or something like that. So it makes it much easier now to get more revenue per square meter or square foot of a property.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So, Andrew, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Yeah, I mean, you can always email me at andrew@listwithandrew.ca, or feel free to shoot me a text or give me a call, 519-831-4800. Hopefully I don't get tons of prank calls now that I just said my cell phone number on it.
Awesome, Andrew. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you, folks, for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Andrew. He lives in Guelph, local expert there. You will be in good hands, so don't be afraid to reach out. Thank you for tuning in.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ravi.